In this module, we will explore the differences between private and public Wi-Fi networks, as well as the risks associated with using a public Wi-Fi network.
Wireless, or Wi-Fi networks, are a constant part of our lives due to the many wireless devices that we use. With that being said, it is important to understand the difference between private versus public Wi-Fi networks.
A private wireless network is owned and controlled by the organization, or person, that built it or purchased it. If you have wireless networking in your home, that would be an example of a private Wi-Fi network. Because you have control over this network, you are able to secure it in such a way that the devices on the network are only the ones that you have authorized. If you have done a good job of securing your network, you are much less likely to have your wireless communications hacked.
On the other hand, public Wi-Fi can be found in popular public places like airports, coffee shops, malls, restaurants, and hotels, and in most cases it allows you to access the internet for free. These hotspots are so widespread and common that people frequently connect to them without thinking twice. Although it sounds harmless to log on and check your social media account or browse some news articles, everyday activities that require a login, like reading email or checking your bank account, could be risky business on public Wi-Fi.
The problem with public Wi-Fi is that there are a tremendous number of risks that go along with these networks. While business owners may believe they're providing a valuable service to their customers, chances are, the security on these networks is lax, or non-existent. Here are some of the risks you may face when connecting to a public Wi-Fi network.
One of the most common threats on these networks is called a man-in-the-middle attack. Essentially, a man-in-the-middle attack is a form of eavesdropping. When a computer makes a connection to the internet, data is sent from point A, your wireless device, to point B, a service or website, and vulnerabilities can allow an attacker to get in between these transmissions and read them. So what you thought was private, no longer is.
Encryption means that the information that is sent between your computer and the wireless router are in the form of a secret code, so that it cannot be read by anyone who doesn't have the key to decipher the code. Most routers are shipped from the factory with encryption turned off by default, and it must be turned on when the network is set up. If an IT professional sets up the network, then chances are good that encryption has been enabled. However, there is no surefire way to tell if this has happened in a public Wi-Fi network.
Thanks to software vulnerabilities, there are also ways that attackers can slip malware onto your computer, without you even knowing. A software vulnerability is a security hole or weakness found in an operating system or software program. Hackers can exploit this weakness by writing code to target a specific vulnerability, and then inject the malware onto your device. This is accomplished much more easily on a public Wi-Fi network because we cannot control who is connecting to the network.
Wi-Fi snooping and sniffing is exactly what it sounds like. Cybercriminals can buy special software kits, and even devices to help assist them with eavesdropping on Wi-Fi signals. This technique can allow the attackers to access everything that you are doing online, from viewing whole web pages you have visited, including any information you may have filled out while visiting that web page, to being able to capture your login credentials, and even hijack your accounts.
Rogue access points, or malicious hotspots, trick victims into connecting to what they think is a legitimate network because the name sounds reputable. Say you're staying at the Goodnight Inn and want to connect to the hotel's Wi-Fi. You may think you're selecting the correct one when you click on Goodnight Inn, but maybe you haven't. Instead, you may have just connected to a rogue hotspot set up by cybercriminals who can now view your sensitive information.